Ebro Law Rosenberg, good morning. Almost Friday, expecting some rain later here in the tri-state area, but hopefully where you are, wherever you are tuning in, it's beautiful. Speaking of beautiful, look at this guy. They got him in a different office with some different flags. I never seen this backdrop. You guys give it up one time, Mayor de Blasio.
Mayor de Blasio.
We're in the Bronx. Welcome to the Bronx, Ebro.
Okay.
All week long, we brought City Hall to the Bronx.
Tell us more about this. What's going on? I didn't hear about this.
This is something. I actually borrowed this from Mayor David Dinkins. When I worked for him, he did a thing where he took City Hall to different boroughs for a whole week, focused just on the issues at borough. We're emulating that. So this week is all Bronx all the time. And then we'll be going through each of the boroughs, listening to people, connecting with people, solving problems, bringing all of City Hall to the people of each borough. Grassroots.
So now, the Bronx, I've been, a lot is being talked about, and rightfully so, with the violence in the city and the gun violence. I'm sure that's top of the list in the Bronx, correct?
Yes. And yesterday, I was with an amazing group, Release the Grip, a Cure Violence group, Violence Interrupters. This is part of the larger movement, the crisis management system of grassroots organizations stopping violence before it happens. Right. So I want to shout out everyone at Release the Grip and Bronx Connect, because this is the bigger solution here. Of course, policing plays a role, in the right kind of policing and neighborhood policing connected to the people. But grassroots community solutions to violence are the future. And this is what we've been focusing on for more and more each year, putting more and more investment in. Now, Joe Biden used this model in New York City, this Cure Violence model and crisis management system, as the model for the country, and is going to be funding these kind of initiatives everywhere. And I saw it live in the Bronx yesterday. Young people being engaged, positive options. That's the way forward.
And so, one of the, I think, at least I don't hear enough about it is, okay, you have these cure violence organizations. They're on the ground. You've allocated money to it. The federal state government is allocating money to it. How do we now provide jobs and opportunity for these youth so that they have something better going on than what the streets are offering them? Because I feel like that piece always seems not as tight as the funding of the grassroots organizations.
I think you're right. I think that's where things are going to. We had 75,000 this summer. We have 75,000 summer youth employment jobs. And this is also the shape of the future. Have that strong employment option. By the way, the Cure Violence organizations themselves employ young people directly. That's, I think, a crucial part of it for folks, parents who need someplace positive for their kids. The other thing we did this summer, Summer Rising, is 200,000 kids of all ages from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. They get culture, they get recreation, they get academic support. Nice. We made this universal. Any parent could know this summer, I hope this will be the future, that they had a safe place and a positive place for their kids via our public schools for this summer. So that, to me, when you say you got summer youth jobs, you got Cure Violence, you got Summer Rising, you layer these things together. And I think another piece that I bet you and I would agree on deeply is for folks returning. We've got folks returning from prison. We need them to have positive options. With bikers, with folks coming back from jail, we established a system, provide reentry planning, provide education training while you're in, provide a transitional job when you come out. We are pushing the state of New York to do the same thing for folks coming back from prison. In fact, the state assembly passed a bill to ensure and require the state, when folks are coming out and they're on parole, that they actually have to plan to support them, not just dump them back in New York City or dump them in a shelter, give them opportunity. We're pushing to get that passed in the state Senate. These are the kinds of things I think will change the whole reality. Give someone coming back job training, give them a job, and they do not get pulled back in that cycle of violence.
And I guess the next question I have for you, is this money that's going to these things? Is this money that was already budgeted for? Is this money that is coming from the Recovery Act? Is this money that's going to be continued into the infrastructure bill that they took first steps on? Because I want people to understand that the federal government's financial support here is key to this, or no?
Well, now it is, because when we started in all these things, we were doing a lot of it ourselves. the support for cure violence movement and crisis management system. We were doing that obviously long before the stimulus. That started the first year of my administration. Summer youth employment, we've been building up every year. We were able to do a lot of this before the pandemic. Pandemic knocked us back. That's where that federal support has allowed us now to recover.
Okay.
Now, it is, I hope, going to be part of how we sustained it and build it, because the Biden administration, again, they are keying in on these community-based solutions to violence and this focus on giving young people summer options, things like that. So if they do get all these bills passed and it creates an ongoing support, then we can build this thing out a lot more. And that's really the direction we need to go in.
And it looks like Eric Adams is going to be taking your job soon. So, and he's been pretty active throughout his history with these type of programs. So I think he gets it to some degree, correct?
Absolutely. Eric is from the grassroots. Eric understands we have to reach young people. He and I have talked about this, and he believes in these community-based solutions to violence. So I think this is the kind of thing he will embrace and deepen.
And in the areas where you've been, you've had your biggest struggles, Mayor de Blasio, with fixing the houseless issue and the homeless issue and the shelter issues. Talk about, some of the programs that you guys have been working on to set the city up for success around finding solutions here.
Look, the bottom line, God forbid anyone's homeless. And I really want people to realize so many people who became homeless in recent years, it was for economic reasons, working families who became homeless. And so what we've really focused on is just getting them back to permanent affordable housing. That's happened for 160,000 New Yorkers in the last 8 years I've been in office. 160,000 people were able to get permanent housing. We want to keep deepening that. So I think that effort's the right direction. I think the big piece that we've got to find even better ways to handle is street homelessness. And what I'm encouraged by is these intensive outreach efforts. We're now sending outreach workers back to the same person if it takes 10 times, 20 times, 100 times to convince someone to come in. We found many more ways to convince people besides just persistence. If someone's on the street, a lot of times it's because they fear going into a bigger shelter. We created smaller safe havens. A lot of times there's one thing that someone on the street is looking for. Either reconnect with family or medical care or something that you can say, okay, we're going to get you that, but it's time to come in so we can also help you on a lot of other fronts. We see some real progress there, but that's the area I want to see deepen in the months ahead.
We have a major announcement coming. Laura, you want to hold that to the end? De Blasio and his squad have put together some entertainment, some summertime vibes. I would call it post-pandemic, but we are not post-pandemic yet.
Oh.
With the way these numbers are increasing in the city and the new mask mandates. So you guys want to do the announcement at the end, de Blas?
Well, I want to first talk about how we get out of the pandemic, and then we'll make the announcement. Because we made news yesterday in a big way, saying to everyone who's not yet vaccinated, look, vaccination is the answer. It's the only way we defeat COVID. It's the only way to protect yourself. It's proven now, 160 million Americans. And this city, about 70% of adults, over 70% of adults have now gotten vaccinated. And that's the reason that we are actually able to see life coming back and have concerts and all the other things we love.
How are numbers looking, Mayor?
The numbers, look, the overall number, New York City is ahead of the country in terms of the overall impact because 71% of adults are vaccinated because about 58% of all New Yorkers have gotten at least one dose. That's helpful. That's really positive. But we've got to go farther because until more and more people get vaccinated, this Delta variant is like a freight train coming on. This thing is very, very dangerous. So we need people to get vaccinated. Yesterday, we announced a major new incentive. And this one is clear as a bell. Go to a city-run vaccination site. Get your first vaccination shot, and you will get a $100 cash card. Period. You get $100 for showing up and getting that shot. Anyone who is ready to take care of this extraordinary opportunity, you go to vax4, the number 4, nyc.nyc.gov, vax4nyc.nyc.gov. You can find the locations. It's free, of course, to get the vaccination. You get that $100 cash card right there. You get connected to that money. We are saying to people, this is the time. This variant is dangerous. And if you're unvaccinated, it can do real harm. It can kill you, period. It can kill you.
Now, de Blas, Laura wants to stick you up.
Protected.
Laura wants to stick you up right now. It's happening
So
live on the radio.
we spoke about this earlier, Mayor, and I was like, wait a second. Do you get $100 for each shot?
That's good. Laura, you are entrepreneurial. I like that.
but I have a question. And then my question is, Mayor, why? I have two questions. The first one is, why not give the $100 on the second shot so we make sure people are fully vaccinated?
Because we got to get people in the door. It's a fair question. What we found in New York City, 95% of people come for the first shot, do come back for the second.
Okay.
If someone's gotten that first shot, they are invested. And obviously, we're telling them, every doctor in our city is saying, come on, guys, this is how you save your life. We're losing people who are unvaccinated. We're not losing people who are vaccinated. It's as simple as that. If you're vaccinated, you will live. So every single person who is in serious trouble in our hospitals right now is unvaccinated.
If you show up for one shot and you don't go back for the other one,
congratulations.
Yeah, that's true.
That's the biggest.
What's the point?
As well.
What's the
you
point?
don't come back for the other one, you are harming your own health.
What do you say, Mayor, to people out there who are vax hesitant, and a lot of it's based on lack of trust in the government, and then when they hear about something like we're going to give you money to get a shot, that makes them feel like it's even more suspect. Like, why do they want to give us money? What? How do you respond to that?
I understand in some way what you're saying, but I really don't. If we believe it is important enough to support in that way, I would think it's the other way around. Obviously it must matter. We're trying to do everything we can to encourage people, but let's go back to 160 million people in this country have gotten the shot. I mean, I do honestly understand people in the first months who wanted to wait and see a little bit. We're way past wait and see, and we did not have the Delta variant in the beginning. This is a terrifying variant in the sense of it is much more transmissible. It's much more dangerous.
The viral load is more, it moves faster. It's a lot.
Yeah, you can get it within in 5 minutes.
It's defeated by the vaccine. So, I mean, this is just plain straight up science at this point. And we don't want to lose any more people. This is about families. This is about our loved ones, particularly our seniors. We don't want to lose any more people. Just get this vaccination and you keep the people in your life safe.
Other than the vaccination conversation, the getting back in schools in September conversation is coming up, and people over 12 getting the vax and what's mandatory and not. I saw that you talking about city workers are either going to need to get a mandatory vaccination or test every week. Where is that plan at?
That's exactly where we're at. All city workers, it's phased in, starting with hospital workers. It'll phase in over the next few weeks. Everyone has to, if you're a city employee, that's almost 400,000 people. You have to either get the vaccination once, done, get fully vaccinated, meaning, the 2 shots, be done with the full vaccination, and you never have to test after that. Or if you are not yet vaccinated, you have to test every single weekend. It's your responsibility to get those tests and obviously give an update on what the test said. I believe that's going to really encourage a lot of people. We are going to keep pushing mandates of all kinds, and I'm urging the private sector to do the same, go as far as you can go, because this is what we got to do to protect everyone. Unless, look, here's the danger right now. Besides the fact that we could lose more people we love, if we don't get this right, we're going to start going backwards in terms of restrictions and people losing jobs and having to consider shutdowns. I don't want to do any of that when I have the answer. We hold it in our hand. I was at a high school here in the Bronx, Lehman. 2 young women were going to Summer Rising. They came in, they got their shot. Their parents agreed, they got their shot. We were all watching there. And it was like 15 seconds, 30 seconds, they're done. And they both said they felt relief because they could now know they'd be with their friends and they'd be able to participate in everything. People have to understand where this is going. If you want to participate, if you want to go to concerts, all the concerts we're announcing are for vaccinated folks only. More and more things you want to do in life are going to be for vaccinated people only. If you're unvaccinated, you're going to start to be cut off. And it's not saying that happily, it's just truth, because we have to protect against this Delta variant. And anyone who wants to fully participate in the life of the city, this beautiful city, get vaccinated.
Now, once this is FDA approved, right? Because the FDA approval is supposed to come in the next weeks or months. Do you think that'll make some people more comfortable as well?
I think it will help, But I think the fact is, again, the 160 million people that happened, we've seen amazingly positive outcomes, particularly that the folks who gotten vaccinated have been protected, of course, from the worst of all outcomes, death, but also even from serious illness, serious lasting impact. It's been so clear that I think that's much more important than whether it's given a permanent authorization or not. But I do agree with you that additional designation will put some more momentum to it.
Well, yeah, because many people who are hesitant, it's a fear of something that's new, putting in their body that hasn't been researched and hasn't been approved completely. That, there's definitely a group of people that is their hesitancy. It's not vaccines all the way around. It's just a new vaccine that they haven't had a long-term look at. And, there's a lack of trust there.
I respect that. But here's my problem with that. The alternative literally could be contracting a disease that does kill. 33,000 plus people in the city killed by this disease. Millions upon millions worldwide. It does kill, and it makes other people in your life vulnerable. So this theory, here's why I don't get it. I'm kind of frustrated at this point. I get in the beginning, I really do. In the beginning, people said, let's wait and see a bit. Fine. We wait and saw. And we waited and saw. We had 160 million people. We saw the incredible positive impact of the vaccine. But we also see unvaccinated people dying every single day. So what is more valuable? Stopping the thing will kill you, or worrying about a theoretical, even though the overwhelming majority of doctors and scientists have said this is safe, and it has been.
It's just trust, de Blasio. It's just trust, man. It's trust. It's nobody. This is it. Nobody wants to be sitting up. Nobody wants to be sitting up late night when they see one of those commercials on late night where it's like, yo, if you took the vaccine in 2021, you are, you need a lawyer, you need to go see a doctor. That's what the long-term effects is what I hear people are most afraid of. So when they hear you talking, they're just saying, well, I'm afraid of the long term.
That's beautiful, except you may not make it to the long term if you're not vaccinated. This is where I
hear you, man.
I totally appreciate the honest conversation. I do. And fear, which has unfortunately become the way of life in America. Everyone's afraid of everything at this point, and it's ridiculous. Look, in the end, the thing you should be afraid of is the thing that just killed a bunch of people in our own communities. We saw it in our eyes. No one made that up. That's not late night television. They died, and they will keep dying if they're not vaccinated. What are we talking about here?
No, you're not wrong.
Listen, the way you feel is the way many of us on this show feel. I'm just telling you what we hear. And this is the real convo.
We heard it, but now we've seen 160 million people get this vaccine, and we've seen it save, countless millions from death. Come on. I there's a certain point where you say to people, we did respect your concern, we listen to your concern, we understand your fear. This is not the things you're afraid of.
And so do you believe
it's the thing that killed people in your own community?
So then let's take it a step further. So then the next phase becomes that these private, well, clearly the city, the state, federal government's having a conversation about mandatory vaccinations. We know the military is going to have mandatory vaccinations once it's FDA approved. You see the private sector also having the legal coverage to make it mandatory for their employees. Yeah. Will that become a thing?
I think you're going to see more and more mandates. This is where things are going. As I say, we're climbing the ladder. There's going to be more mandates ahead. The Justice Department just issued an opinion that said right now, with the current authorization, employers can mandate for the health and safety of their employees and the people their employees serve. And you're going to see more and more of this very rapidly. So everyone had more than half a year to make a decision. I really respect the challenges people are feeling, the fears, the questions. But now this is about protecting lives, and also in really the danger of us sliding backwards to where we were last year and having to shut down. That's unacceptable. That means a huge number of people will lose their livelihood. It means that so many people will not be able to move forward and will just continue to suffer the trauma of this era. We can't do that. So mandates are what's coming. And what I'd say to people is just go get this vaccine. We're trying to make it positive, incentivizing, saying, show up, we're going to give you $100 right away. That's a good deal. Just get it done and protect yourself and protect the people around you. I agree with you. The mandates are coming. And if you don't, you're also not going to be able to do a lot of things that you really want to do.
Which is, listen, we got a major announcement today.
Yes.
You're announcing some concerts all around the city, and you just said these are for vaccinated people only.
And so long as you've had one shot,
I
you
need
qualify.
a drum roll. I need a drum
drum
roll,
roll.
man.
Drum
I need a
roll.
drum roll.
Don't you
Major
have
announcement.
Here we go.
a drum roll? Don't
There
you
you
have
go.
a
Here's your-
drum roll?
Let's
Here you-
go.
Timpani drums. You got some symphony timpani drums.
I thought this was a high-class operation that had drum roll.
Wait, you can't hear the drum roll?
Let's play.
There it is.
That's not like thunder. That's more like thunder than a drum roll. Okay,
You have terrible speakers over there, sir.
Work with it. It's gonna work. All right, so listen. Yes, for vaccinated people only, but emphasizing, if you just get that first shot, we obviously want you to go get the second one when your time comes. Get that first shot if you don't have it already. Go to a city-run site, get $100, and you are then one of the people at least has an opportunity to go to one of these concerts because they are going to be for folks who are vaccinated only. The announcement today, we're going to talk about the 5 boroughs later on today at 10 o'clock. And anyone who wants to hear all the details, you can follow me on social media at NYC Mayor on Twitter and Instagram. But right now, we're going to give a special exclusive.
Here we go.
Here we go.
Okay,
Here we go.
okay.
There's a very powerful concert, a legendary concert, a legend in the making. And it will be in a mysterious place shrouded in mystery called Shaolin.
The slums of
Yo, the blind
Shaolin.
talking that Shaolin talk.
Shaolin.
Okay? If you want to journey to this place, here is what you will be treated to. Gathering together to headline this concert, to make history, Raekwon
Ooh, the
The
chef.
chef.
and
Wait
Ghostface
for it.
Killah.
Oh!
There,
Raekwon and
that's right.
Ghostface.
Ghost.
Now the whole
Head-
thing works. That's good. That's good.
They're headlining in Staten Island. What's the date on that, Mayor?
That is Tuesday, August 17th. It is going to be a long show, a rich entertainment opportunity. It starts at 4 p.m. and goes all evening. Richmond County Bank Park, right by the Staten Island Ferry. This is part of our
Okay.
homecoming week. There's going to be a major concert in each borough. Now, not just Raekwon and Ghostface Killah.
Who else?
EPMD.
Oh, you got some
EPMD.
shit.
Chill.
All right.
So what you saying, Mayor? What else?
All right. And we have a mix of styles and artists. Hee-Sun Lee, an emerging artist. We've got
Okay.
a jazz kind of indie rock artist, Lizzie Ashley.
Okay.
Okay.
Cool Keith.
The legend,
Wow.
Cool Keith.
The
in
wacky, wild, cool Keith on the set.
ultra
Also.
magnetic.
So there's a lot going on. And this is just one of 5 concerts, all to celebrate the rebirth of New York City. And if you want to go and be a part of this, all right, we're going to get the details out at 10 o'clock on how you can get tickets. It's going to be an amazing, memorable experience. But imagine a whole week, 5 major concerts in a week to tell people New York City is back. No one ever stops New York City.
Yo, it's home. You called it homecoming, I heard you say.
Homecoming week.
There it is.
Love
So
it.
this is the
Nice.
first of many. This is the Staten Island show. Raekwon and Ghostface Killah, EPMD, Cool Keith, Hee-Sun Lee, Lizzie Ashley, and you said Tuesday, August
17th.
17.
Correct.
17th. And then in 3 minutes, you rolling out more shows in the other boroughs.
That's right. Big shows.
All right, Mayor
Big
DeBlas.
Miss it.
Yo, DeBlas, thanks for joining the
Thanks,
program
Mayor.
again today.
Thanks, Mayor.
Thank you, guys. Take
Talk
care.
soon.
Later.